we finished everything around the hubland, which is kind of the intended route for the game if I was going to take any guess. So it's back to the bulwark and the lands beyond. Those lands, of course, being Aldwynn, sort of the, I guess it's the capital of Cyrodiil, and maybe actually the only city that even exists in the entirety of this country. Mm-hmm. One of the things they talk about is that there aren't really many people who are native to Cyrodiil, because they're all immortal and, you know, being empowered by the super artifact around here. So I think this is pretty much the only major landmark that you're going to see in this entire country. Also, hey, new enemies, and they are actually very difficult to hit if you are using a large weapon. Like Greatsword, yeah, it's really obnoxious, and they do good damage as well.
Like these little enemies?
Which is why
or are you talking about this guy?
Oh, the guys riding the frogs. No,
wow.
They like do 150 or something damage to me on each hit. And it's like they're so short that it's hard to...
Yeah.
So, is that somebody that just came in on a jetpack and is using a sniper rifle against me? Yes.
Well, I think that's normal. Like, this is like, what? This is like a Call of Duty game or something?
Yeah. I mean, up until this point, we've seen a lot of future weapons and jetpacks and stuff. Take that, Dark Souls.
Or, yeah, owing to this game's origin,
be...
it's a classic callback to that scene in And Orlando.
Oh, yeah, where they use the sniper rifles.
Yeah, they rappel down through a jetpack from a helicopter. Just slowly rappel down
with their camo armor on.
And then they start sniping you from those, like, the bastions or the towers.
They take out their ornate silver sniper rifles and start shooting at you from
classic
there.
Remington sniper rifles, like vintage.
Yep, make sure they got the laser pointer sights on there and everything to be able to accurately. No, but yes, that is in fact going to be explained. That's not just a weird thing, but still something of a surprising thing to see the first time that you're playing the game. But hey, first off, we got Evil Soren fight, and actually probably one of the more difficult because great hammers do a lot of damage. The first time that I was trying to play the game, before I decided to switch over to the assassin build, I tried using the great hammer after this point, and let me tell you, it does not work as well for the player character when you don't have boss level health.
Like, it's not an amazing hammer, it's just...
It's slow. It's incredibly slow. But the damage can't be beat. Oh, well, that said, it's just like I prefer the fast daggers anyway, especially as I've been getting a little bit farther into the game.
So was that like a Dark Souls shortcut right there?
Oh, yeah, pretty much. It's like there, you don't have to deal with the sniper on the rooftops anymore, which is good because like 2 hits, I want to say, will take me out from that sniper if I do
so
get hit by it.
It's kind of like a Lakitu thing where they'll just keep appearing in the background. They'll keep jumping in.
Oh, they sure will.
Okay.
They will never stop as long as you keep going up through that route. And one of the things that I didn't even show is that the door closes behind you. So make sure that you figure out to hide behind those merlins. Otherwise, you are probably going to die a couple times when it comes to that small area.
By the way, is the Lakitu the first example of like a thing in video games where it just comes back and appears to attack you and flies along with you?
I'm trying to think. There was, I know all the way back in Ghosts and Goblins, there was the Red Aramir demon, and that had been around there for a long time.
Okay. That makes sense.
Very, very Dead Cells type of statue there. It's the exact sort of thing that you would see in the castle area of that game. The cup, the blood, everything. By the way, this save point here, if I had attacked Fink all the way back in the first area, he would run in there and explode it, which is pretty great because that means a pretty long walk to the next area if you angered him in any way.
I love that, like when games do that. They just like they punish you in a way that actually makes sense within the game. Like, damn, that actually pisses me off.
He's a real jerk, that Fink. But it's like, in this playthrough, I actually bought his stuff. I mean, I'm currently using his terrible, terrible knife scissor daggers. Which, I mean, they're only terrible in the sense that they're, like, gross and poison. They're actually quite good weapons. But,
So, are these, like... This feels like Dead Cells a lot right now.
Oh, the game overall just feels a lot like Dead Cells. I mean, because of like the double jump, the ground slam, the everything. It's like it's very, and like this entire area is very similar to like the ramparts. I don't think that there was any sort of inspiration or anything like that. This game would have been probably developed around the same time that Dead Cells, came out in early access. But it's like, for me, needless to say.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things where this is like a remake though, right? So they probably were like,
it's more like a, I don't know how you describe it. It's a huge quality of life DLC sort of thing.
Yeah, I see.
So like it's still the base game. It's not like a separate game that you have to buy or anything. This is just the update really changed things up to be a bigger in the way that the game never was originally.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably like if you're going to make Dark Souls 2D, like it's kind of like that's the natural aesthetic. Make it kind of this dungeon crawling, just kind of Diablo like thing where it's just got this nice like the fonts. They in retrospect they look a lot more like Diablo than really like the item menu and stuff than Dark Souls specifically.
I suppose so. I'm not actually too familiar. I never played Diablo too much. I played like Diablo 3, probably the most of any of them. Yeah, I know. But look, that was the new one.
I don't know.
It's the easiest one to get.
Yeah, I don't know how valid that is. I haven't played it a ton.
Yeah, that's... I don't know. I don't think the Dark Souls... I don't think that Diablo 3 is like despised or anything. Maybe when it initially came out, but I think they've made it. I don't know. Let's just be like this. I don't know. I can't tell you what it's like for the hardcore fans of the series or anything. I know Diablo 2 is of course the canon entry in the series, the most beloved one. But
yeah.
Well, anyway, funny thing is that that little guy there, one of the lumberkin dudes, Acolyte of Death, sells you pretty much all of the skills in the entire game, as well as some pretty decent items. Also, he makes fun of you if you sit at the death statue, because it's like, come on, you scrub lord, I can't believe you died. Like, just don't die, forehead.
Is that you're talking about that horse?
No, the little dude that I was buying skills from there.
Yeah.
The lumberkin, I don't know what the deal is. They had like a little presence in the original game, but for whatever reason in Death's Gambit Afterlife here, they have a lot more of a presence, and I don't know why. Like, I honestly could not tell you. By the way, these priest guys, they summon up the big electric balls. They also have the bulwark wings because, followers of the bulwark.
Yeah, it's really
first off,
it's interesting because you really can't replicate the that's interesting. Like they've got it. I was just thinking about the architecture of this. It's like you can't really replicate the architecture of something like Dark Souls or something just because it's not in 3 dimensions and stuff. And you kind of have to prioritize gameplay. So it kind of has to look more like 2D platformer instead. But they're kind of trying to do that by giving things like these outside facades.
I mean, you still got like the giant church here and everything. Speaking of the bulwark, in the background there, you can see a big, huge mural of him, which we'll get a better look at later. First off, church basement key, very useful because this is, if you didn't find that, you're going to have to go all the way back from that first save point we saw in the level every time you want to get here.
I like that there's just randomly a noose in the room to the church basement.
How does that even work when everybody's immortal? I don't know. Why would that even be here? Hard to say.
Yeah, that's the point where it's like, that's a Dead Cells touch, like, right there. So.
Oh, hey, it's the sniper.
Now I'm going to fight you where my rifle goes even faster at close range.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know it.
Also, it is like a silver, and he's made...
Yeah, no, it is like an actual... Like, she's wearing battle armor. She's got the big, huge sniper rifle, like an actual for-real sniper rifle and everything.
Awesome.
And also, I don't know why you're really broken up over the bulwark. He'll be back. He is immortal. I mean, yeah, I took him out for now. Maybe she's more worried about his reputation than anything else.
Now, this is supposed to be very weird that this technology is like there's a sniper.
Oh yeah, no, there was nothing that prepared you for seeing this.
We're in a medieval cathedral right now.
Yeah, pseudo-medieval. Yeah, one of the things that they say in Cyrodiil is that they're all adherents of a religion that teaches like, hey, death sucks super bad, so y'all should be immortal. With the bulwark sort of like the ideal of that ideology.
Yeah, and I just love that she's.
Well, anyway, also it has a cloaking ability.
So she just is gone, and we're not going to fight her now. That's awesome.
Well, not right now,
not right
at least.
now, of course. Yeah.
So anyway, there's the other. Like, if you were an acolyte of death, you could repair that statue. There's Fink. just in there.
Is Fink?
Dude is immortal.
Yeah.
You just kind of find his body
just
around
hanging
occasionally. So yeah, if you're an acolyte of death, you could repair that statue. But the church basement one, of course, is. Yeah, and you would have to go all the way from that first save point to go up against this boss otherwise. It's a big one.
Be nice to think.
Why was there a ghost in that?
This is a really apt Halloween game.
Oh, of course it is. It's all about death, man.
But I mean, even beyond that, it's like spooky.
Oh yeah, of course. We're in the graveyard.
Well,
anyway, you can see Auriga not only has just a normal health bar and everything, also has resources on the bottom. You can see how many bullets she has left in the gun, which, once again, that sort of verisimilitude is kind of unexpected here. Needless to say, it's very similar to like the fight earlier. That's right, they were training you for this battle, in fact. And as soon as you run out of the ammo here, then it's like you don't even have to hide behind anything because she can't hit you.
And I'm guessing
that flash bomb will totally disorient you if you're standing next to her when she does that.
And it's weird that she's even like, why is she even coming to the forefront here? Just because she's out of ammo?
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense.
That is the entire thing. So actually, I gotta say, Auriga, not that bad of a fight. I mean, I think that even in the heroic form, fairly easy, all things considered. Because ultimately, it's like, I suppose that's due to my extremely hyper, super aggressive play style, though. Because if you're a sniper, you don't take to melee combat very well, which is of course my forte.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that if you were like trying to go for more of a like heavy defensive shielding game, trying to get parries and everything, like some of the other play styles include, that it could be a lot more difficult.
I like the.
Oh yeah, I got a heal there too, but
yeah,
no.
Yeah, I like the geometry of this, where it's like, I mean, it's so simple, like the thing where you have like a background, and I mean, it goes back to at least like Mario or something like that, like some kind of like from the 80s. You had things like this.
Oh, definitely. There were a lot of things like I mean, Mario alone definitely had like a lot of. You can also dodge roll that, but it's a lot less consistent. Yeah. Mario, of course, had a lot of stuff. Think of like Yoshi's Island, for example, the final boss there.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, even like your Donkey Kongs and whatever. Like I think the Donkey Kong for the Game Boy had the classic giant monster in the background, and you fight the hand sort of thing. It is using the background like that, very common.
Yeah.
Why have you come to disturb the dead?
Man, I gotta go smash the big immortal ball. The ball that makes everybody immortal.
Yeah.
I gotta have a contract with death to do it. That's right. I'm a contracted employee.
Yeah.
That's why I look like a zombie.
Well,
I think we already said that.
Please call yourself a contractor. You're not an employee technically. You don't get benefits.
Well, I mean, I do. The health benefits, in fact, the best you could possibly get. It makes you immortal.
Fair enough.
I don't get a 401k, though.
Follow me.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you get health benefits, but that's more of like an under the table part of the agreement.
Well, I would actually say that that's exactly why I have the agreement in the first place. But,
yeah, but you're not supposed to say that. Like, that's illegal to say that. The IRS will investigate you.
Move carefully.
Oh no, the internal revenue souls.
Yeah.
No, I can do better than that.
Yeah.
The infernal revenue service.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's perfect. That's very spooky.
Got it in 2.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yes, there is a lot of defense for Karashiori, but more importantly, there's also a gigantic, gate that's up, which is why I can't get over here right now.
Now, you seem to be pronouncing that very confidently. Is that?
They say it in the
Okay,
game. Remember, the game has voice acting.
Yeah, okay. Because that is a hard word to say, just looking at it. Or a hard place name.
I am going by the voice
Okay.
acting.
Marred by tragedy.
Hey, this is the new cutscene, by the way. And also, yeah, the Phoenix just back because immortal.
The king will continue to celebrate the dead as he
It's like, what, do you think that she was going to be leaving and all?
Their heroes accomplished little more than setting foot into Cyrodiil.
Also, this is a new cutscene entirely, I believe.
The standard has fallen. Their cadavers will be of more use as fertilizer.
They don't know any better. A child is not to blame for the
Hey,
environment.
Endless, do you have any kids? Just a question.
He's not far off. Give it 10, 20 years, he'll be a wretched pile of shivering bones by then.
No. Too many will suffer for his ambitions. Sorrow resonates through the kingdoms. I can feel it in the air. A fermenting thirst for revenge. But I will assuage their pain. No longer will a mother suffer the loss of a
Their
child.
life will be endless.
When all are immortal under the sun,
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty
I
much.
will be queen.
So do you have any kids, Endless? Is there any particular reason why you're bringing that up? I mean, I just,
Uh-huh. Oh.
I don't know. Just thinking about that.
Oh.
Well, anyway, yeah, you can't actually go in through the front gate. You gotta go underground. But hey, at least you get like a little bit of a preview here, and also we're seeing that looks like they're trying to kill the King of Vados. We saw him very, very early on in the game. We're talking like the attract screen, basically, saying, "Hey, yo, this is the dude that's causing all these people to do these like idiotic missions to try and attack a bunch of immortals, and they all die."
Well, the problem with attacking immortals is that they're immortal. That's always the big problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you think about it, and you're like, well, it would be cool to get the big immortal ball, but also they are immortal.
That's Karashiori. All who
See, she says it right
Yeah.
there.
must pass through its crumbling.
Karashiori.
It was almost my new home. Before you showed
Yeah,
up,
put a stop to that.
it shouldn't tarry too long.
As we saw several times. So you guys just gonna,
She never spoke much about her past with me.
just hang out here until I open up the gate? Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah.
Fine. I guess I am the one that made a contract with that.
Another Dark
Fair
Souls
enough.
staple.
It seems likely, though she may very well be a native of Syria.
Yeah, native of Cyrodiil, few and rare. But
But
no, she talks a lot as if she was in one of the ex.
I've seen her
Like, come on.
Look, are you trying to say that this is like Fink's mother is Endless? Like the Endless's son is actually Fink?
I didn't want to say it, but yes.
Okay. Because Fink is known as a mama's boy deep down. Like they alluded to that a little bit in there.
Oh yeah. We've definitely seen a lot of that. He like if you when I accidentally attacked him in the first episode, he was like, from my mama.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's just weird that they kept bringing that up because he's such a jerk otherwise.
I'll say. I mean, he's also a tragic character. We do see his dead corpse all over the place. But, immortal.
He's a tragic character because he keeps dying and coming back to life.
True. If only he wasn't such a jerk about it.
So, the cycle continues.
The story of Final Fantasy 15. Which I just finished on the channel for future watchers.
Perhaps, if Cyrodiil falls, then Vildredor's focus might.
This is a lot of, like, maybe it'll work sort of speculation here.
This is like a tabletop thing, like talking to the DM. Hey, what happens if we go on this expedition and kill the the endless. What will happen? It's like, well, it might spark a civil war between the demons and the devils, but that's been ongoing for 500 years, so it might not.
You really couldn't be any worse. Well, anyway, Riga saw it's very fancy. Yeah, but they got the gate up.
It's so weird that you have all these people that you've killed at some point or beaten in combat, and they're just like hanging out.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
immortal.
Yeah, of course.
Venture no further. Where you still have
Although Ione and Vrail, I do not believe are immortal. Well, no, Ione definitely isn't. I'm fairly certain Vrail is not. But you know, they just kind of hang out there anyway. Hey, thanks for the forbidden holographic key.
Once my home, now a derelict tomb.
Your home, you say? Right over here, in fact. You know that area right after the Dark Knight that you didn't explore? Well, that's why you didn't do that. Because otherwise, you know. Yeah, I wanted to give this a surprise because I think the Garde Tomb as a section is real weird and real fun.
Now
it's also significantly different from what it was in the original game, so that's also neat.
So the Garde Tomb, is that like? Are we going to explore that in this episode?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's next episode.
Okay.
Look, I've recorded a whole bunch of episodes up until
this
point. So. Heroic rematch. I could probably take it right now, to be honest. It's like really not that bad. But again, that's because, you know.
Lacks the vocabulary to describe it.
Is it future tech?
It existed centuries before the rise of Aldwynn.
Yes, it's future tech.
Oh, okay. So there's a whole that's interesting.
Yeah, it is her home.
Yeah.
Or at least was before she was exiled. We'll see.
Okay, we'll get very straight.
In the Immortal Tome thing, they explained a little bit more.
Okay.
Basically, she was exiled, which is why, yeah, she was spared for better or for worse. But anyway, we will see that one later. In the meantime, there is a very weird section coming up here. Like this did not exist in the original game, but is here now. So let's do it. The whole bunch of
What are?
yeah, little tiny dragon dudes. The what can I'm forgetting the name again. Damn it, I should know this.
What, the lumberkins?
Lumberkins, yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very. It's like it kind of reminds.
Wait, usually I'm the one that remembers all the minutia about games.
I was thinking about because it kind of reminds me of like Rumpelstiltskin or something, just like a German North European mythology about like a ridiculous creature, like the Red Hats or something.
Given, oh yeah, that's a very specific reference. So, which given the rest of the game, not surprising. Oh yeah, there's dead Fink once more. I don't know how he even died in here, but well,
okay, that's
pay respects.
Really funny.
It's so dumb. By the way, one of the things that the Lumberkins, like delivering a bunch of supplies around here, can be carrying is another Fink corpse. In case you're wondering.
That rules.
But that and the F key is. This is so weird. Especially, I don't know why this is in this part of the game, but here it is.
Yeah.
It is just utterly bizarre. Because, like, yeah, this is not... when you went underground in the original game after the Ariga fight, you just went to... Well, you'll see.
Oh, my God. That Chef Fat is so funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just wandering around. I don't even know what's going on here. This is weird.
Hasta la vista, bucko.
How's it going, Soren?
Yeah, it's bringing me back to playing Final Fantasy IX again. and you're jerky. Hasta la vista, baby, because the game was made in the year 2000. and translated at that time as well.
Try running a Michelin 3-star restaurant.
This is so wacky.
I saw the stuff you're cooking. You're cooking like F keys.
Go bother someone else before I get fired.
Before I get fired.
Yeah, it's like we get this like huge dramatic cut scene where it's like they outline their whole plan of, okay, we're gonna go finally take the battle to the original king that's been sending all these people after us, and end war forever by making the entire world immortal. And like, we get the tragic story of like guarded tomb, and now we get this section.
This is like having the Tom Bombadil scene right after the meeting of the Fellowship.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, do. Death has a job. Death has a job.
Helping out Goldberry, being all like, you can't give me the ring. I wouldn't even know what to do with it. I'm so wacky.
I don't know why, but making Death like a cook is such a plausible profession for Death to have. Like if Death needed to get a job, I'll go into the kitchen and I'll get a job as a cook.
They already had the sprite. Tiny statue. They already had the sprite of him wearing the apron, so I guess it was just a gift.
This feels like a Halloween side quest.
Which is great, because it is Halloween. Everybody scream, "This is Halloween, this is Halloween, we are recording this on Halloween."
Is that Tim Burton thing, Nightmare Before Christmas?
That is right, this is Halloween, hollow, it's Halloween.
I don't think I've ever seen The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
It was a graveyard smash. Oh, and there's a record player to play Monster Mash, presumably, or the mini sequels.
Oh yeah, I mean, only all of the. Oh no, am I gonna make another reference to Mr. Show? I'm feeling it well up inside my bowels. I don't know.
You know the guy who did Monster Mash. I probably mentioned this before in the Persona, but like the guy who did Monster Mash did a ton of like sequels. He kept trying to recapture the glory, but it never worked. It was just like,
yeah, I mean, how could it?
Good.
Monster Mash, he got it in one. That's the problem.
Yeah. Explosions in the sky.
Oh my god. Just pretend Monster Mash is playing at deafening levels in the background while this is happening.
Is that right? I can't hear the music.
God, if I wasn't afraid of DMCA, it would. And it's like I can't even put in the MIDI version because I tried doing that with the David Bowie thing back in Omicron. It still got claimed.
Like a MIDI version.
Anyway, you can't leave. There is no escape.
Trent Razor.
I hate this. Oh my god, I cannot believe that they force you into this if you actually say that you wanted to listen to it. Oh, once again, it's like, look at everything, and then Soren starts crying.
This is a great scene.
Once again, everything else that happened in the episode up until this point, now we got this. So weird. It's like, this is like a 4th section too. You can't not go. I mean, I suppose I didn't have to talk to anybody, but still.
They just had so much fun writing this and designing this.
Clearly.
This is like, come on, like this is a fun game, but can we just do something fun for a couple weeks? Oh yeah, sure. Let's have an area. This might have been really tested, like character interactions and stuff.
We haven't really used the lumberkins in the original version of the game. Why don't we throw them all in here?
Yeah, this really does have the feeling of like a beta version of the game that was just used to test like character interactions, just make sure ordinary stuff worked, and then like, okay, well, let's just make it as fun as possible.
Like a sort of developer room almost. Yeah.
But it's also like, you know what? We're really happy with how this turned out. We're actually going to make it a required part of the game.
It is a required part of the game. It's just like, because this leads to this section, which is, oh man. So the original version of the game with this section was a lot different. So, number 1, yes, Amalvaro still had a sigil. Number 2, the warden of the prison still had a sigil. Number 3, you can clearly see that third person there is the bulwark. That's clearly the bulwark. But he's like, it's entrusted to Kusith. Yep. Cough, cough. They didn't even change the graphic on the door. But that's because, yeah, originally the third sigil that you got from the bulwark the first time that you beat him, which you need to do to get in here. So at least that was one that you had. Kusith is that gigantic horse monster that we saw way earlier in the game near where Ione was. And it was, in the original game, just kind of like an optional fight. Sort of a bad fight. It was sort of like a DPS race more than anything else. But it had absolutely nothing to do with the actual plot to the game. However, here, now it is like actually a enforced thing, even though they didn't change the graphic on the door at all. The other thing is, in the original version of the game, I don't know if something was broken in there, but there was a very different event that happened the first time that you went there. And it led to a section that probably should have appeared way later in the game, but instead it was way easier to get to than go and find like Amalvaro or the prison.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm still.
It's sort of messed up.
I'm still thinking about how the lumberkin are like. They almost remind me of like Far Side, like that kind of zany, like the dogs in Far Side, where they'll put up like a sign that says "good food" and it's misspelled. And it's like pointing to the dryer, and they're trying to like trick the cat into going into the dryer.
Trick the cat to go in there.
Yes.
Yes, it is very similar to that. But yeah, it's like, man, this is a very much improved version of the original version of the game, where it was way too easy to get into something that should not have happened until way later. That also happened, and I'll probably point that out when we eventually get to that point, where Amalvaro, name checked on the door there, his section of the game was actually extremely easy to get to from the very beginning. It like wasn't even a challenge at all, and now it's like you have to go through a bunch of gates and like hit all of these what is the word I'm trying to think of, like progression flags before it will even start to let you get into that part of the game. It's a much better flow in terms of progression in the game. Let's just say
now,
that.
Was that fight that you just said, that wasn't like a boss, was it? It felt like a boss.
Oh, that was just one of those Vildradur nights.
Okay.
Which I fought way earlier on, like in front of the same place that you found the Darkness Falls, where I fought the Dark Knight. It's like they're more or less like your silver knight sort of characters, sort of like your more elite but still regular enemy type of dudes.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the horse.
Anyway, this
is the horse, like what is it? That Shadow of the Colossus reference.
Yeah, I told you before that it's like we already had the Shadow of the Colossus reference. That was the one where the horse jumped over the bridge as it was falling apart, like right at the start of the game. But anyway, yeah, like I said, the section with the horse is pretty much just like a big straight shot through, well, the intro to the game and also like the sewers here, which will let you to get at least fairly easily to just about any point in the game. Except because this is the first time that I'm in this place, where I'm going to be doing a whole lot of just like a little bit of cleanup here before we start taking on the three kings that guard the sigils, because video game.
Do you have to use the horse?
No, not at all. You can just walk through
like
here.
A flavor.
It's just horse is faster.
Yeah.
Horse is like a lot faster. And this is intended to be, your there we are.
Nice.
This is intended to be your a fast travel system, but not actually like, you teleport to areas. You just travel faster.
Yeah.
What more do I need to say?
This does feel like so I mean, obviously we've been making numerous comparisons to Dark Souls, but I have to say, I think the way
I've been trying to avoid this episode, but you just went right in
no,
anyway.
what I'm trying to say is I think there's actually in a certain way, it's almost like more like a tabletop RPG. It feels like a lot of these like settings and stuff, they feel like they're designed to like show you like it's not just a dungeon, it's a real place where people live and you just happen to be passing through, which is not something.
Although there are some very very interesting changes in scenery, and also a lot of blood here, which compared to most video games is like usually what I'll say is something along the lines of One skull is terrifying. 5 skulls is horrifying beyond words. 100 skulls is laughably huge. Like, how could you even get that many? But it's just like, hey, we are talking about a land of immortal people. I guess getting a bunch of blood is not that difficult comparatively. You know what? I'll give it to them this time. But yes, I have... Yes, okay, Blink. Blink is like the third of the knife skills that I have. This does not even have a description.
What are the...
It's just a key.
What is the 15,000 stuff?
Oh, those are just very good capes.
Okay.
Like, finesse plus 12 is a lot, and that's not even upgraded.
Nice.
But, of course, they cost 15,000,
Yes.
which is a lot.
I'm really curious about the mystery key.
I will get it later.
I feel like that.
Yeah, what is up with
That's
that?
the kind of thing where it's just like that's the most important door. Like right before the boss, you get it to open a door, and it's like if you don't have that key, then it's just locked.
He's died less than you.
Yeah, it's something like... I don't actually know what it is, but I do buy it eventually.
Buy something nice for him.
Yes. I'll be buying... Well, the thing that I bought, the last of the knife upgrades, is actually very good. You get bleeding, and you also get an enormous hit on enemies by using that, which is why having it now is going to be an important part of the moveset for the future, especially for the heroic boss fights where, I can't just kind of like trivially blast them down with enough DPS. Oh, no. It gets so much harsher than... I'm really enjoying the heroic fights, though. I'm making a real effort to do all of them, and they have been very good, especially with the improved, physics and controls for the game so far. If you step on that thing, it just summons a few slimes. Doesn't stop this thing from appearing, though. Which is, I guess you could consider it like a weird mini-boss. I'm not entirely sure why it's here, but here it is.
Yeah, it's really weird because like a lot of these mini bosses seem to take several dozen hits or something. About a dozen hits.
And also otherworldly flesh. Flesh from another dimension. Wow.
Damn.
That went some distance. Slick and scaly as though of aquatic origin. They just putrid. No, let me tell you, it is definitely aquatic origin. In fact, if you remember something that happened very, very early in the game, you might be able to make some comparisons here or there as to other dimensional creatures that may or may not be appearing. Like that one.
Interesting.
Foreshadowing!
Yes.
Yes, I get it. Shut up already. And rabbit. But also carrots. Look, the big rabbit guy has a lot of good stuff, and if nothing else, I'm going to want that tome on the endless, so because I'm collecting all of them.
So the rabbit dude is basically just like it's like a covenant kind of thing. The covenant of
there's
rabbits.
There's not like true covenants in this, but I would say that it's very similar to like how the you would get the like ears or something for the covenants in Dark Souls. Special kind of currency to get special items, to win special rewards.
Yes.
And it's like, like one of those is the final boss tome, which is, not just a lore, but also a pretty big advantage in terms of getting 10% extra damage by having both of them. For 10 minutes against the boss, which is, if you're spending more than 10 minutes fighting a boss, it's I don't know what to say.
You're probably doing it wrong. Or you're in Phantasy Star Online or Monster Hunter and you're fighting a boss and you're slightly under leveled or something.
Hey, remember that one episode of Persona 5 where we spent the entire time fighting a single boss?
Oh, yeah.
That I had to do multiple times, and they're like, in a half hour, I'm going to explode this place. And I'm like, well, it's not actually going to take a half hour, right?
And then it took a half an hour.
And then and then I had to do it multiple times.
Yeah. Well, that was a well-designed game, so I'm sure that was just unintentional.
Oh my god. Let me tell you though, it's like I've been talking about Final Fantasy a couple times in this over the course of this episode, but let me tell you, that definitely happened there as well. Like, my God, the amount of battles at the end of Final Fantasy 15, or even more recently, Phantom Dust, which was just the final boss of that game was horrible. It was just horrible. And I don't know why.
It carries the royal seal of Vardos, but most of it has been scribbled over.
Also, I thought you were waiting over at the gate.
Think?
Oh.
Has
Oh.
now.
Fink trap there feels good. Mustn't let them get away. No.
So, in the original playthrough that I did of this game, I did fail this section. It doesn't really make too much of a difference in moral, remember. However, I'm going to actually make an effort to do it right this time.
This game just oscillates so much between just, like...
I know, right? I don't know. Well, this was actually in the original version of the game comparatively.
Like, this feels like vaudeville, just some, just...
Oh, yeah. It's really weird. Soren, you're using his weapon right now. I can't believe they didn't write a separate line of dialogue for that.
So, Rail is in fact, this is real Rail. He's caught them both.
Oh yeah, no, that's not like a fake.
And now he's quizzing them.
Yep, with quizzes. But of course, like I said, even though I played this game 3 years ago, of course I remember the answer to all the questions.
Yeah.
Shut up! I do. I know. Look, I know, but I do. Yeah. Nope. The first item was a crow's feather. Because I also remember that, of course.
How did you remember?
Look, I have a good memory for this sort of thing. Shut up.
I find this really...
Look, I will not be able to remember anybody's face or name, but I can remember this.
The thing where they're like...
And this is the one that... Oh, in the original playthrough, I got that question wrong. But he always says that you have one more vitality than you actually have. Yep. I actually do. Jocasta Holdrum is not, in fact, the person who first sat on the throne, because that is the name of the prison warden that we were talking about earlier.
And he's so sure of it.
Also, it's not Rosamund Breyer, though, either, so you couldn't even choose the correct answer. The real answer is Eltire Sirad, because the country's name is Siradon. So, and by the way, that name should become familiar a little bit later on, too. So keep it in mind.
I think it's messed up that Fink is dead now forever.
I can't fucking believe Fink died.
Yeah. Fink!
Let's do some heroic fights.
This is such a wacky way to introduce you to a boss. It's like, okay, look, we can't just give you this boss. It doesn't make sense. So, you know what?
What?
Trap door.
Okay, yes, there are some big floating weapons here, but that's how you activate it. Whatever.
I just mean like, oh yeah, there's just the trapdoor thing. That's fucking wonderful.
Well, no, this is not the boss. This is I just cut to the boss. This is in the same place that I fought the Soul of the Phoenix originally.
Oh, okay.
That was movie magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. It's like pretty much from now on, I think what I'm going to be doing for each one of the episodes is we'll get a couple of the heroic fights just kind of thrown in at the end.
Yeah.
It's like that was not... It just leads you to the sewers after that point. You don't go into a boss fight.
Now,
this
silly. One looks pretty difficult. Like, that is just a huge...
So, there are a couple differences compared to the original fight. I do believe that the reach on the scythes is, like, much larger.
That's huge.
Each time you get hit, you can see in the upper right corner, my healing becomes minus 70% for like 5 seconds or something like that. But it is enough, considering that, if you got that debuff on you, that means you just got hit. That it's like that is enough to kill you if you don't get the dodging down on these pretty good. In the original fight, she could also hit behind her pretty well, and that stays true here. And this, like this circling attack, she did not move during towards her original fight, but she does now.
Yeah.
So don't get put in the corner, basically.
Uh-huh.
Also this. Which, yep.
This reminds me a lot of Dead Cells, this boss specifically.
If you're wondering, no, that is not just like an illusionary second one. That is just a second version of the boss. Yeah. These heroic fights get kind of hardcore.
Yeah, like, this is like...
Because holy Christ. Thankfully, that does mean 2 hitboxes, so you can take out the health a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I hope that you got some good DPS here, because otherwise, that can be pretty devastating. Amulet of the Phoenix is interesting.
And I'll judge whether you're worthy or not. Don't disappoint me.
So once again, who is that?
You'll never hear the secret I have to tell you.
Somebody with a secret.
Huh. Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's the person who's like, that's like the voiceover person?
That is a voiceover. I don't recognize that voice at all.
Okay.
Allows you to teleport to the Orange Forest. I have no idea where the Orange Forest is. That was not in the original game. I don't know. You also get some good boots, which, I mean, every one of the heroic bosses gives you some sort of like high level good equipment to equip up. Got like the helmets from the Owl King. Got Ione gave me her weapon, but here we get boots from the Phoenix.
Wow.
Still though, more interesting to see like what the hell the amulet is supposed to be. You can't equip it, so it's not like you just activate it to teleport there. I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Then other heroic fight, we're doing the bulwark.
Wow.
There he is. So yeah, bulwark, of course. I think the timer on the reinforcements is, well, first off, he just gets, of course, the big buff up to everything. More damage, more health, etc., and so on. And I think the reinforcements has less time between being used. And much like the Owl King, lightning now leaves like bombs on the ground, pretty much.
So
that is, if you don't take care of those.
This seems one fairly easy right now. This does not seem like you're having trouble so far.
Comparatively, like compared to spawning a second version of the boss, yeah, it is.
Yeah, just there's more reinforcements. Oh, and that did a lot of damage. So.
Oh yeah, the explosion. I mean, due to the fact that everything is just like a lot more tanky, the lightning balls that he summons around him. I think the explosion might also be larger too. It's like those just do a lot of damage.
How does that?
But hey, you can really see like a lot of good usage that I'm getting out of the blink ability that I bought earlier in the episode. It is a big hit. But yeah, unlike the original fight where I was able to like blitz down the soul really fast here, it's like I need to be a little bit more strategic and not get caught in that explosion because it will kill me.
Yeah. So how does the healing?
I can stun him out
in
of
this in like the boss fights. Like, do you just have to limited number of the items, or do you have to like man?
No, I mean you just got the same Estus flask as usual, basically. Good luck trying to heal in some of the fights, though, depending on what exactly you're doing. Bosses, of course, it's like do a lot more damage when they're heroic. But like I said, Bulwark is one of the easier ones comparatively. He ain't too bad. Get his sword and get a special aura.
Feel the pain of death once more. Makes one feel alive.
He's just slowly dying.
Short-lived, for I will.
He immortal.
Yes.
And like I said, the heroic fights are like an actual in-game thing because immortal.
Yes.
So there we go.
Nice.
So, like I said, got his specific sword. And additionally, the other thing that I got is the aura, which is new in the game as far as I know. I don't remember getting this in the original version. But yeah, let's take a look at this first. Seems pretty cool, but not working with a strength build.
Yeah.
So, you know, not doesn't actually work for me.
That's too bad.
Continue, just a ghost that continues exploding. That might actually be pretty good. Lets you jump a third time well in the air. Hell yeah,
wow.
dude.
So that's a game changer.
That is, we'll be seeing a lot of this aura, especially for the heroic fights later, because, oh man, also permanent wings.
Oh my
whatever
god.
That's worth.
Yeah, that is a game changer. Literally.